Welcome back to the InboundREM YouTube channel. My name is Robert Newman. I am the founder of Inbound Real Estate Marketing. Tonight, we're going to be talking about listing descriptions that sell. This is a subject that each and every single real estate agent that holds a license should actually be paying attention to. Because no matter what, when you take a listing, you are required to write a description before you submit that listing to the MLS, before you write up your marketing brochures and email them to your clients. Your job is to write a listing description. The amount, the amount of mistakes that I see in listing descriptions is crazy to me. You see people doing capitals. You see people who try to submit colored text, which most MLSs don't accept. You see people doing an overabundance of punctuation. So let me tell you right now, do not do those things. They are major mistakes. They look amateur and they do not capture the eye like you think that they do. What does capture the eye? What draws somebody into your listing description more than somebody else's? Well, there's actually quite a few things, but this video isn't a top 50 or top 60 kind of video. I'm just going to give you, as I oftentimes do, the one big tip that can actually make a major difference inside your business and is easy to remember. So if you don't already know this, if you're like me and you're a subpar English student, superlative adjectives is what you're looking for. Now I'm going to give you a long list of what I mean by this, and then I'm going to throw into some examples. And this is going to be one of the most down and dirty videos that I've ever done. It's going to be short and sweet. You want to use superlative language or superlative adjectives inside your listing description. It will, and a story that flows. Those are the two things: the who, what, when, why, where, the property, when was it built, who used to own it, why do they want to sell it, and where is it located, who, what, when, where, why. Okay, a couple good transition points inside the story and a lot of superlative language. So what's superlative? Instead of big, you go with biggest. Instead of bold, you go with boldest. Instead of bright, you go with brightest. And how does that work inside the description? So like a listing description. So when you're listing out 5 rooms, one example would be, this room catches the sun at sunset. It is absolutely the brightest room in the house. Another thing to do when you're writing your listing description, so that's brightest, coldest, warmest, hottest, fewest, highest. Hopefully you guys are not nicest, not boldest. You always want the extreme of this particular listing description highlighted when you're doing the writing. You want to make sure that you are talking about the features that really make this thing pop. And if it has no features, if you're selling like a home inside a subdivision and there's 50 homes that are exactly the same, then you want to make sure that you're far more clever about the way that you write your description versus other people. So you'd say it's a 2-story home, and while the entire home gets great sun, the corner room, which was previously used as a sitting room, is the brightest room in the house. Always use superlative adjectives and keep the story about the property moving along by using them. Now, here is one last tip when it comes to using superlative adjectives. If you get lucky and have a house with a singular feature on it, this is where like getting used to and being in the habit of using superlative adjectives really comes in play. Nobody really wants to buy the same thing that 50 other people have bought. When we buy a Ford, we usually want to customize at least one thing on it. We want to have leather seats, we want to have a fancier sound system, we want to have tinted windows, we want to have something that makes the car our own and represents our taste. The same thing is true of homes. So all of those pieces of flair that a home has, such as a porch that's been painted red or brown, it's the most singular porch in the entire neighborhood. That is a superlative adjective description for what could theoretically be a subdivision, like a home that is like many. And if you get very lucky and somebody rebuilt a home or has many, many unique features, then you're going to say things like the only. Now you step away from using only superlative adjectives. The only home on the block that has a second story, the only home on the block that has painted borders to the windows. It's the only home on the block that has interior wall paintings. It's the only home on the block that has Spanish tile. It's the only home on the block. Do you see what I'm saying? The job of the listing description is to separate the home and get people to call you, get people to pay attention to the listing, and you always want to use singular elements and superlative adjectives. Singular elements, superlative adjectives when you're writing listing descriptions. And if you get used to doing those very, very simple things, you will discover that you have listing descriptions that sell the home. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If not, hit thumbs down or leave me a comment. See you next time.